Hi tankers, this is my first tank guide for Armoured Warfare. This is my main game that I'm streaming currently. You can catch my YouTube streams most Fridays where I play for a couple of hours. Streams start around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, GMT time. I've recently tweaked the graphics in Armoured Warfare, hope to upload in slightly better quality. I've done this for World of Tanks as well. Doesn't seem to be any trouble with the performance of my potato PC. No constant slow frame rates and lag. Today's tank is the Italian OF-40 main battle tank at tier 4. This will be a short tank guide, my new format for the channel, no battles with commentary, just some gameplay footage as I talk about the tank. Let's go through the strengths and weaknesses of the OF-40. This tank is fast for an MBT in the game at 60 km per hour top speed. This tank is mobile and can reposition around the map easily. The gun is accurate and quick aiming, and reload is not too long, meaning DPM is adequate. The standout of the OF-40 is the powerful heat shells that can deal out a lot of damage per shot. The survivability is where the tank has both strengths and weaknesses. The tank has very strong turret armour, 200mm frontal armour on the turret, but the hull armour is thin for an MBT, at only 70mm thick. This is going to make this tank quite challenging to play compared with other MBTs that have all-round strong frontal armour. Before we talk about the playstyle, let's go through the loadouts for commanders, crew, upgrades, shell types and retrofits. For the commander, you have a choice. I've stuck with my entry-level MBT commander, Philip Holtzclaw. You could use Rachel Kramer, but I tend to use her for my higher tier MBTs. The premium commander, George Alvarez, is also an option if you manage to get him. I think at low tier, Philip will be a decent commander for the tank. For the crew skills, focus on improving the rate of fire and accuracy. You can make this tank a DPM monster and something of a sniper to make the tank versatile in its playstyle. Skills like smooth ride, rapid fire, quick draw, sharpshooter, off-road driving and explosive shells will all help to improve the OF-40. On to the upgrades. The upgrade path will not take you long to go through. I recommend that you play PvE mostly at first. Get all your essential upgrades done first, then you can focus on PvP if you enjoy that mode as well. The most essential upgrade you'll need to improve the tank significantly is the heat shell. You should unlock this and use these shells as quickly as you can. Other upgrades will improve accuracy, so get those quickly as well. You'll have upgrades such as fire control, laser rangefinder and improved gun stabilizer. Upgrading the engine will also improve traverse and acceleration. Onto the shells. The main shell that you'll want to use is the heat shell. This has 455 damage potential per shot with pretty high penetration too. This is the shell you'll be firing mostly. The other shell to consider is the APFSDS, and there is a reason you want to carry some of those on your tank. Certain tanks will have composite armour, and this reduces the effectiveness of heat shells. Therefore, you may want to switch to the APFSDS shell type in this situation. There will be a few MBTs that have this armour, such as Chieftains and the T-64, and some of the mid-tier Chinese MBTs too. You can also carry a few HEP shells, otherwise known as high explosive plastic, the American designation for HES shells. These might be a choice when going against some of the Soviet trollish armour you'll face. Now onto the retrofits. I've gone for augmented optics as V-range is critical when playing PvP. I've gone for the advanced muzzle reference system to improve aim, and the survivability kit due to the weak hull on the tank. For consumables, I think the basic repair and medical kits will do, as well as the fire extinguisher. If you play PvE a lot, you can use a PvE consumable if you wish. So, the playstyle of this tank, hull down tactics will be very useful. You only expose the much stronger turret to the enemy. You'll need to get used to the maps and figure out positions where you can go hull down. This will be tricky at times, but do your best and keep thinking about hull down positioning when engaging the enemy. Try to flank and outmaneuver the enemy by utilising the tank's speed. This is something to consider when you are facing a slower MBT and it has strong armour at the front. You might get better joy if you can flank and fire shots into the side of the enemy MBT. You can also surprise enemy tanks by waiting for them to appear as they expose their sights. With this tank you don't have to go charging in. The gun is decent enough at medium range, and in some situations you can try sniping. Staying back can reduce the risk of taking damage on the weak hull. Heat shells should be used wisely, which is something I've not mastered yet. Heat shells are most effective against tanks without spaced or ERA armour. Due to the weak hull armour, do not spearhead the attack, leave that to other MBTs on your team, whether you are in PvE or PvP battles. Some other general tips with this tank: always be aware of what is around you, what terrain that is available to use as cover and to go hull down. Use it to your advantage. Try to aim for enemy weak spots and save your ammo if you cannot get a clear penetration. Use your excellent ability to reposition if you are under threat or about to be swarmed by the enemy. And provide support for your team. You are in the OF-40 to provide fire support and making use of the accuracy on the gun. Remember, the OF-40 excels as a flanker and defensive tank when in a hull down position. With careful and conscious gameplay, you can make this vehicle truly shine on the battlefield. This is an interesting low to mid tier tank to get, in my opinion, and it won't take you long to get it to tier 4. I play it in PvE and PvP battles, and I feel that this tank works in both modes. Okay, that's it from me. See you next time.